Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. Today we're going to do an update on the Las Vegas alien case. For one thing, I've been hearing reports that the family, the Kenmore family, have moved out of the house where they had their experience last year during the late night hours of April 30th and the early morning hours of May 1st. The experience, of course, involving some sort of craft coming down in their yard and then seeing alien beings, 8 to 10 foot tall alien creatures. Three witnesses, of course, as we all know. But apparently they moved out. I've been hearing different reports on that. I haven't verified this yet, but from what the reports are, people are saying that they have moved out of the property. They did say that they were experiencing poltergeist activity after their experience in the months afterward, and plus they didn't like it. They didn't like the experience. They don't like talking about it apparently in the public, and so now they have moved out of that house, according to reports. But what I want to talk about here, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. First thing is there's a person, Aldo Rittendale, who on Twitter claims that his company, AdaptNet AI, has reviewed the video evidence, and they confirm Scott Roeder's analysis that there were alien beings in there, and it's pretty much undeniable. And I actually reached out to this person, and he contacted me today and said that he has a 20-page report that he's actually having his company review right now, and he's going to. He said he would come on the show in a week or two, and talk about his report, his findings with this. But this is what he wrote on Twitter. He tagged my name along with a lot of other people's names from the UFO community, including, of course, Scott Roeder, along with Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, Nick Pope, the Galileo Project, Michael Shermer, the debunker, Gary Nolan, Lou Elizondo, Ross Coulthard, and Joe Rogan. And this is what he wrote. He says, here's the bottom line. There is enough real data from the April 2023 Las Vegas UAP case and the 2008 Cumbergus Turkey UAP case to conclude that non-human intelligent entities are indeed with us here on Earth. If you ignore these two cases, then your credibility in the ufology ET space is severely diminished. I have followed the work of some of the biggest names in the ufology ET business. A significant amount of credibility on the topic has developed over the past few years because of these folks. Unfortunately, these same folks have almost completely ignored both the 2008 Cumbergus Turkey case and the 2023 Las Vegas case. Why? In both cases, we have unadulterated original videos with images of non-human entities. No added CGI, no pixel manipulation, no bit manipulation. In both cases, there is movement of the entities without added animation techniques. In the Las Vegas case, we have 3 witnesses of non-human entities where the independent descriptions of the entities provided by each witness match quite well. In the Las Vegas case, the independent descriptions of the entities by each witness matched the look of the entities seen in the unaltered video. In one perspective, the Las Vegas case, a non-human entity is seen approaching chase movement, the father and 2 brothers. The movement backward, the escape movement of the 3, is coincident with the forward chase movement of the entity. We have also proven that there is no shadow or reflection from the 3 that somehow generates an entity figure. In the Las Vegas video case, the entity head movement seen at the top of the fence is coincident with shadow movement seen near the bottom of the fence, indicative of leg movement coincident with head movement, as one would expect during an approach or walking. In the Turkey case, at least 2 independent researchers have identified 3 non-human entities hovering over a 4th entity, which appears to be human. Let me just stop there for a second. Yeah, I've talked about this a lot on the show. In fact, I did a podcast recently, again, talking about the Turkey UFO incident, and obviously those things that some people seem to want to deny, they're really there. They're really aliens. There's no other explanation for it. I mean, that's what they are. You're seeing things that aren't human, and so I think that it's nice to see this guy and his company making that conclusion as well. And there was a lot of different, there were different scientific groups that investigated that from 4 different countries. And I talk a lot about there was a Chilean analysis, which I'll leave a link for that again on here. I think that's something that's very important. That was written by someone who didn't believe it at first and thought he was going to go in and debunk it, and that did not happen. He came to the conclusion that no, there are entities in those Turkey UFO craft that were filmed over a 3-year period from 2007 through 2009, and they were real and they were moving. And so, yes, it was independently verified by multiple people. And so, yes, that case is true. But anyway, continuing with the Twitter X post, it says here, the bottom line here is that there is, at the very least, enough data to justify further investigation. The data is not definitive proof, but it is very close to it. Well, let me just stop there. That's probably the only sentence in Aldo's post here in which I do not agree. I think the data is definitive in the Vegas alien case, because I mean, in addition to the witness statements, you have the evidence on video, which was video, as we all know, had no CGI tampering, and there are most certainly creatures that you could see in there. And so I think that that is definitive proof that there is some non-human intelligent presence on this planet right now. Anyway, continuing. The most compelling data is from the Las Vegas case, where 3 independent observations of the aliens match each other, and the images in the video match the independent observations. That's real data. In the Turkey case, 3 entities are observed hovering over a 4th entity, which appears to be lying horizontally. This matches scenes described by abductees who repeatedly describe a very similar scene. But the big names in ufology have all but dismissed both the Turkey case and the Las Vegas case, which makes many of us skeptical of their motives given the high quality of the data in these cases. My company, AdaptNet AI, has concluded an analysis of the original video taken from a cell phone held by the mother of Angel and his brother in the Las Vegas case. We see several entities in the backyard, many approaching the family members in a cloaked fashion. We see several of the entities moving their mouths as if to growl as they approach the family members. We have identified the cloaking method. The next steps include further investigation at the former home of the family, with Las Vegas Police Department, with neighbors, with videos from neighbor cameras, with police body cam, and other videos. Our initial report is about 20 pages long, with references to video snippets and with embedded pictures. It is available for those interested in further research. And yes, that paper, he said, when I was in contact with this person today, he's indicated that he will provide a copy of that report to me in about 7 to 10 days, and then he will also appear on my podcast. That's what he indicated. So I'm looking forward to that. But I want to talk about some of the other things. I've been looking at this video. I mentioned before, I've been talking about that there are various anomalies throughout this video, and that's what I want to talk about again today. And you could look at this video. There's so much stuff happening in this video. I mean, now, first off, before we even get into this, now I just want to point out there's the 3 entities, as far as I'm concerned, which are there's no doubt about it, right? There's just no question about it. There's the one that chases Mr. Chase him out of the yard. That's what we'll call him, that Mr. Chase him out of the yard. There's the one that we initially see. The one that we initially identified, that was initially identified last year by Scott Roeder, the crime scene reconstruction expert. There was the one that he saw, when he did his analysis, his original analysis, and he determined that there was something there that chased them out of the yard, and you could see the movement. And we talked about that a number of times. We'll call him Mr. Chase him out of the yard. And then, of course, there was the second one that we talked about a lot, was the one who appears above the fence. That was the one that New York resident Julia June, she had contacted me last year and told me I should be looking above the fence after they get chased out of the yard. And she sent me a picture, and looks like there was an alien face there, as described by the 3 witnesses, Bobby, Ken Moore, the father, and as well as the 2 sons, Angel and Joshua. And I call him Lurch. That's the name for that one, Lurch. He comes flying over there. It's very unnatural looking, the way that thing moves into the view, and for a few milliseconds his face appears. Obviously these creatures were using some kind of cloaking technology, and you definitely see a face there. There's no doubt about it. For a few seconds, for a few milliseconds, the whatever technology or powers they have failed momentarily, and you can make out the creature's face, eyes, head, and the shape of a head, and you could also see the shadow behind the fence that moves along with that head in the slots of the fence. So yeah, and then so that was that, and then Scott Roeder, of course, confirmed that was most certainly there. Him and his team, they looked at it, and it was determined that that face and that creature was there, and that it was somehow preventing the cell phone camera from filming it properly. In fact, there were 66% of pixels were deleted in that little area of space in the video where that head appears. And then for the last few months, I've been talking about this other being, which I call Mr. Backbreaker, or his first name's Undeniable, Mr. Undeniable Backbreaker, UB for short. You call him UB, Undeniable Backbreaker for short, because this is the one I believe that was sent the bunkers home crying to mommy, and checking themselves into the psychologist's office, because they're going to have problems with that one, because after when you have the other evidence and then you throw that into the mix, I mean, there's no question that there was a little creature, like after they got chased out of the yard, and when I talked about this a number of times on the show, and then they point that cell phone camera back into where all the heavy equipment is. There's something there. There's just no doubt about it. There's some sort of a creature there, and that too is somehow cloaking itself. But for a couple of seconds, you could see it, and it's actually clearer than the other ones. You could see its face. And to me, I don't think it was one of the tall ones that the family members saw. I believe that it was a short one. I believe it meets the description of a gray alien, of a short gray alien. That's what it meets the description of. Unless it was a big one and it was somehow like laying down on the ground and just poking its head up, because it was pretty low to the ground. You could see it. It was in between the pickup truck in the backyard and right up hiding in right in front of the heavy equipment there, the front loader and forklift. And so there's no doubt about that. That one there is a backbreaker. It's a very strange video, and it's there's no other explanation for it. In fact, I used artificial intelligence recently, and that the artificial intelligence recognized the face. There was facial recognition, and it created its own animated version of what is there. So there was no doubt that thing is there. Like you could see, it was distorted, and then the distortion ends momentarily, and you could see the face somewhat clearly, and then it becomes distorted again, and then it disappears. But that video, as far as I'm concerned, that was the final nail in the coffin. Now, I've been talking recently in different shows. I've talked about other anomalies, and I've pointed out different things. And today we're going to do something else. We're going to talk about some other anomalies that have been that I've noticed in this video. And yeah, we're going to start off with that. Okay. This right here is it's a close-up of the backyard, and it's during the same time when that little guy pops his head up, UB, Undeniable Backbreaker, and but there's a lot of stuff going on here. There's a lot of action. I'm playing the video right now. You can see there looks like a smoky cloud there. There was the head. I'm just going to stop it there and reverse a little bit. You can see, before I reverse it further, you can see in this area, I mean, now in addition, there's no question, because the cell phone camera was moving, there's motion blur going on here, okay? There's no doubt about that. But there's also something else happening, and I'm not sure what it is. It seems like there's some sort of fog or smoke or something that these things are hiding in somehow. Or I don't know if they were creating, if there's some sort of illusion or some sort of technology that prevents the camera from filming it. It's unclear. But I'm going to reverse it here a little bit. But if like I've been talking about, there's more than just that thing there. And that's what I wanted to talk about here, because there's more than just the creature that pokes its head up. There's more than that. Like you can see, like in this area right here, there's like this smoky cloud, and here, this is the area right here where this creature is going. You can see a little bit of it right now, actually, right there, but it becomes a lot more clear in a few seconds here. There it is. Okay, let me just reverse it. There, you can see it right here. There's an eye there, an eye there. And I see now this is a farther away shot than the close up I've been using. But the reason I'm doing this is because I wanted to point out that there's other action going on here. Like I talked about, there could be one that's standing right beside it here. Somebody else had pointed out that it looks like there's one that appears here in the background. You can't really see it here in this far away shot. There could be something in the behind there. But I was looking up front here, right, and I noticed something earlier today. Looks like something pops up before this thing becomes visible. There's for like a few milliseconds. There's something that becomes visible in here, and it looks like there's other things over on to the right of it, off to the right. There's other creatures, it seems, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. Let me just rewind this a little bit, and I'll play it again so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, in the front, right there. Wait, let me just reverse it a little bit. For a few seconds, you see something right here in this area. It looks like there's an eye there, and this is the head area, but it disappears. It shows up and it's gone almost immediately, but it seems like, again, it looks like they were using some sort of technology to make themselves somewhat invisible to the camera and probably to the people watching it who are seeing it with their own eyeballs. We don't really know. But what I did was I focused. I did a little snippet where I focused just on this area here, just to look at that, to see if I could see something there closer. I did a close up of this area here where I saw that head pop up, and I'm going to play that. Here it is. Let me just take it back a little bit. We'll just start. We'll play the whole thing, and and that's also I slowed it down somewhat, so it's in slow motion, so we could see what happens here. And it's playing right now. You really can't see anything in this area here. It's going to pop up, you'll see. And but it does, something does seem like to emerge from this fog or whatever it is, smoke or whatever it is. I don't know. There's all we could do is speculate about what they're doing here. But there's other in addition, you might be noticing other things above that and off to the left there, and we'll talk about that later. But I just want to focus on this particular thing first. So this is another anomaly. Now, we can't say, this is all speculation. I can't say with 100% assurance that this is something, but I would, if I was a betting man, and I would say yes, it is. Okay, here it's starting. You see something start to take form there. It looks like there's an eye there, it looks like a head. And then it gets foggy again. You can see a little bit, and then there's something else there. It looks like another one right here. Like, right, look at that. Is this another? I mean, I think this whole backyard was filled with these things. I think they were all over the place, and they were using some sort of technology to prevent the camera from filming them, from capturing them. You know, again, there was a lot of the stuff when you watch that video, it's only 1 minute and 41 seconds long. There's motion blur sometimes when the Contra Kenmore moves the camera. I mean, you can see this motion blur, but sometimes when she was holding it steady, you saw this, what looked like in this little area back here where they apparently were hiding, where we know at least one of them for sure was hiding. It looks like there's just smoke or something. It's very strange. But anyway, that's what I noticed that one today. I thought that was very interesting. But the best is yet to come. But before we get to the rest of it, let's go through this one. I'm going to play this whole video out so you can see. Yeah, I think that it could have been two of them side by side, but it looks like there's some sort of distortion going on, and then something looks like it starts coming out of the distortion right over here. I think there could have been one, it could have been two of them. It looks like there might have been one here, because you can make out two eyes briefly and somewhat of a head, and then another one appears. I don't know if it's the same one, and the technology is just making us confusing the image that we're seeing. I don't know, like right there. I mean, I just don't know. But then that other one just pops in the view here, and I think that there was something there. I mean, am I ready to put this up with the big three to see right there? Like, look at right here. To me, that looks like it could be something. But then as you play the video a little bit longer, this. Here we go. There it is. Right there. And then it's gone. I don't know what to say about it. I just think that there is something there. And it's just, it's very strange. Let me look at that. It could be, it's not as sharp, of course, as, but you could make out a little bit. You could say this could possibly be an eye here, and this is its head. And but it's not that great of an image for sure. Now, let's go to another video here. Okay. Yes. Now, yeah, I want to talk about. Let me just pull this up first. Okay, now this is the this is the okay. In this part here, this is you see all this movement. There's stuff coming in and out. You can see, and there's the head right of the one the one I think is that I call the backbreaker that pops up. But happens, before that happens, it looks like there's something going on in this area right down here. Not just there, but that's the one I want to focus on. There's a face that appears there, and that's what we're going to look at here. Okay, now this is a close up of that same area that I wanted to focus on. Now, just right off the bat, it looks like this could possibly be something here, but I'm not going to focus on that. It looks like this could be an eye here, and this could be a head here. And it does seem to move around a little bit, but what I want to look at is down in this area down here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And it looks it's similar. Yeah, here we go. It's coming in the. Yeah, here we go. You'll notice here, it looks like there could be an eye here, and this is the head right here. And what happens here is very similar with what happens with the Mr. Undeniable Backbreaker when he starts disappearing. The same kind of phenomena you'll see. Okay, I know it's hard to see, because there's a lot of stuff going on here, but this is the area right here. I'm gonna outline it right around here. You'll see an eye there, an eye there. This is the head right around here, right? So just keep your focus on that. And there, look at that. That looks when the other one, the one that was a lot clearer, starts disappearing, it takes on this weird, like the eyes look stretched or something. And you could see a mouth shaped like an O. Like a circle, just as similarly as described by Whitley Strieber in his book Communion, about one of these creatures that came running up to him while he was laying in bed, and it had a little line of a mouth, but then when it got up close to him, that mouth turned into an O. So I'm just going to play this out. You can see it, and then you can see it actually moving around a little bit. Let me just rewind that there so you can see that again. I mean, okay, there it is. There's the head. You see it? Eye, head here. And then I'm going to play it through, and then it takes on that same kind of weird kind of look that the other one took on. And then you can't see it. It's just like all distorted. But meanwhile, it looks like there actually could be other ones there with it. I mean, it looks like there could be to the left of it. Let me go rewind it again. Okay, let me pause it here. Okay. Yeah, it looks like there's other things that could be right next to there. There's this one here that I'm talking about, but there could be other ones over here. It looks like there could be something over here, and this is actually right before the one that shows up over here, the main one, the backbreaker. Before that one shows up, the one that's very clear. This is all happening before that. Well, let me just continue playing it. Like, look at this right here in this view here. Is this something here? Is this one of these creature here? Like, it looks like there could be an eye there. It looks like there could be an eye there, and this could be a neck. And it looks like there might be one right beside it. And then you have this one over here that I've been talking about. I know it's difficult, and I know it's hard, and that's why, I didn't want to really talk about these things too much before, because I didn't want to confuse people. And I know this is probably confusing to some people. But there's just so much weirdness going on in this video when you look at it closely and you slow it down. The one thing about these creatures is that they, if we learned anything from the Turkey UFO videos, they seem to move very fast. I mean, the analysis that was done on that determined that they're moving at an incredible fast speed for some reason. And maybe that's another thing that's happening here. It's hard to... and to me, there's like faces popping up all over the place. Now, could some of this be pareidolia? Of course it could be. But of course, as we know, there were certainly alien creatures in that backyard. Now, here's something else. I masked everything off, and I just focused in on this face that I want you to see. Okay. Again, I put a circle around it and I blew it up. There's an eye there. There's the eye there, and this is the head. Okay, and I will just play it out so you could see. Look at there, it comes in the view. You see it to me, and then it makes that same kind of weird. You can see the mouth like in an O, like it's as if it's surprised. I mean, there, look at that. Very strange, very strange. I mean, you can't. Could you see it as clear as as Mr. Backbreaker? No. Let's go play Mr. Backbreaker again, because I want to. Okay, Mr. Backbreaker's coming out of view there, coming out of distortion. There he is. There he is. And then Mr. Look at that. Right before it's going into distortion, it looks like the eyes get a little bit bigger, and here it looks like there could be an O-shaped mouth too. And you can see the eyes. And let's play that again. We'll play the whole thing through. Yeah, you can see what's going on here. Of course, there's a distortion, but you could see it a little bit, and then you could see it somewhat clearly for a minute, for a few seconds, and it turns its head, and then it starts going into distortion again. Let's try that again. And then keep that in mind. I'm just going to try to do this one again with the backbreaker. There he is. There he turns his head, and there's the distortion. And when it starts getting distorted, but before it totally disappears, you can still make out where the eyes are, and you can see this hole of where the mouth is. And then when you go to this other one that I'm talking about now, it's almost a similar kind of situation. And this is off to the right of it, more closer to where the family was, but it's more distorted, unfortunately. You can see the face. You can see the face. Then it distorts, just like similarly to how the other one did. There's an eye there, an eye there. There's a hole where the mouth is. I'll play it out. And it looks really, really weird. I think they're using some sort of technology. Now, this doesn't make me right, but obviously they're using some kind of technology that makes them look like, basically scrambles the signal, apparently. That's what it seems like. And the other weird thing too is, like, you hear, a lot, if you read a lot of the UFO literature, there's people that talk about, sometimes these things come walking out of, like, fog, like a fog, like they're brought into a ship and then they come walking out of a fog, and it's hard to see them, and it's hard to see them in this video, but again, they're there. I mean, we know they're there because of the analysis that's been done by experts. I'm going to put this on a full view here. We know that they're there because of the analysis that's been done by experts thus far, and we also know that that it seems that you have to keep in mind that Angel can more upon seeing that thing land in his yard, and then whatever it was, it became invisible. He couldn't see it. It looked all blurry. He heard what he described as thousands of footsteps. He heard them going off in all different directions around him. So I think that this yard could have been, filled with who knows how many creatures, and they were using some kind of technology to prevent themselves from being seen somehow. And it makes me wonder a little bit too now, if here we go. I'm playing it again. This is the area that I've been trying to focus on right here. Now I actually think there could be other ones right beside it here too, but I'm trying to to avoid the confusion here. I'm just trying to have you focus on this one for now. But, here's what I've been thinking. I'm thinking that maybe what's happening here, what happened there actually, is that maybe they didn't leave. Like, that's some people have been saying this, and, maybe they were still there when the cops showed up. Maybe they were there for a long time afterward. Maybe not all of them left. Maybe some of them left. But maybe not all of them. Maybe some of them were stuck there for a while, and they were just hiding out and using cloaking technology the whole time. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe that explains the poltergeist activity. I mean, Angel Kenmore stated that he saw the shadow of some kind of little creature, outside of the bathroom window in the back of their house. So he actually was so upset about it that he actually painted the window so nothing could look in at him. So it could have been that those things were still there. No wonder they moved out of the house. It could have been that those things were still there months afterward, and that's the reason they're having these poltergeist activities. I mean, maybe that's the explanation for it. Anyway, here's another version of this. I'll play it out. Yeah, it's hard to see a lot. When you're here's the problem with all of this is here's the one right here, right there. That's eye, head. It's hard to see. It's not as clear as the other ones I know, but it actually is there longer than some of the other ones. It's just way more distorted. And there it goes, really distorted right there. I mean, it looks like a pumpkin head or something. I mean, look at this. Look at this thing. I'm going to go through it step by step. I mean, look at this. Eye, mouth with a hole, head. Okay. Look at that. And then it just becomes extremely distorted where you can't see it. But it just, to me, it looks like there's a lot of stuff going on in this yard, was going on in the yard. A lot of different things and a lot of different anomalous activity occurring in a video that only lasts 1 minute and 41 seconds, by the way. I mean, look at all the stuff we're finding in here when you take a closer look at it. I mean, initially it was hard to, we're not, you don't know what you're looking at. You don't know what you're looking for, but the more you look at it, the more you find things in there. And this is not even, there's other areas. This is just one thing. I mean, there's other things that people have been pointing out to me. For instance, Mr. Gray Owl been talking about stuff that he thinks could be appearing here. I mean, if you look in the cab of the pickup truck, it looks like there could be something in here. Like, oh, is this something? Maybe. Could be. It looks like there could be something outside of there, like peeking around the corner. I mean, is it possible? Yes, maybe there's nothing there, but I think that all of these things are possibilities. And just keep your focus on that pickup truck. Look at right there. Is there something there? Look at right there. Look at is that something? Are these two eyes? Like, how is this happening? I mean, I know that, people will say, well, it's pareidolia, but here's the fact. The fact of the matter is that we see that there's most certainly something back there. There was creatures. They saw them with their own eyes. We have evidence of some of them pretty clearly. 3 of them for sure. We see the movement of the one that chases them out of the yard. That's guaranteed. There's nothing, you could do to try to pretend it's not real. And then you see the head above the fence. And of course, the one in the back, Mr. Backbreaker, the one that looks like a little gray. And then you have this other stuff. Faces, there's other faces popping up all over the place. Could it be pareidolia? Maybe. I mean, even up here in the cab, it looks like right in this area here. It looks like there's a distorted view of an alien head right here, right now, in the same frame. Look at that. Eye there. And what were they doing? Some kind of technology, perhaps. Okay, and look at us. Even when you pause it, there's Mr. Backbreaker, the one that you could clearly see for a couple of seconds, right here, right there. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. Is there one right here, right up off to its left here? Looks like this could be one here too. I'm not sure, but it could be because we see one here, right? So there could be other ones there. It looks like there could be an eye there. Looks like there could be an eye there. It could be. And there could be stuff hanging around. Actually, in their pickup truck, there could have been something, just like Mr. Gray Owl believes is possible. Let's look at that again. I mean, it looks like there could be. I mean, there's just so much stuff to this video. And again, like Mr. Rittendale had pointed out, look at right there. Eye, weird, very strange. And it looks like there could be something there. And like Mr. Rittendale, I guess his company, I guess that remains to be seen. We'll see what this report looks like when it comes out. But that, if it does, that will confirm that everything that Scott Roeder was talking about, he's an expert. So we're looking at things here that we actually have evidence. I mean, that's what this is, and I can understand. I've talked about before. It's upsetting to me a little bit that that the rest of the UFO community has not decided to latch on to this. I don't understand it. I mean, you're waiting for evidence your whole life, and here you finally have something, and it's not taken as serious. I mean, this ends the debate, folks. It ends the debate. And there was one other thing here. I think it was at the very end of this video that I wanted to point out. I thought there was wait, not that one. It looked like there might have been 2 other creatures that pop up right at the very tail end of this. Yeah, if you look at the tail end of this video, in this area, okay, over here, after the Backbreaker disappears, it looks like there's 2 other things that appear off to the right, or maybe it's Mr. Backbreaker and another one. There he goes disappearing, and then you'll notice right toward the end. Oh, there, I went too far. Right toward the end of it, it looks like there's something else that pops up in the view there. Right there. Is this 2 creatures here? It looks like there could be an eye there, an eye there, an eye there, an eye there, and these are heads. These are 2 heads. I mean, there's stuff all over the place in this video. I'm pretty convinced of it. I know for a fact that we definitely have the evidence of the NHI, but I think there's a lot more. I think their whole yard was filled with a number of creatures that we just don't have a number for, a number to attach to, and even up here. Again, some people may say it's pareidolia, and maybe some of it is, but not all of it. I don't think. I think that what we're seeing something happening here that doesn't make any sense to me. I know some of it is motion blur, but I don't think all of this is motion blur. I mean, some of this it looks like some sort of a weird cloud. Where did that come from? How is that happening? Anyway, I want to say thank you all for joining me. Until next time.